is, uh-oh, I think we got him. I think we got my man. Let's see. We waiting to see. He's going to get connected. So my brother Fred Hampton's here. So there he is. What's up, my brother?
Hey, I'm trying to work this technology, man. I can't get through with nothing, man.
You're not the only one. I got Facebook on live. I hope they're hearing this. I got you. And first, I want to say thank you, and I'm humbled and honored to hear you speak, because the last time I heard you speak, I think we were in Columbus, Ohio with Sean. Sean, we're going to give him a shout out. We're going to see you soon live on Tone Talk. But I'm going to do a quick introduction. I'm going to just tell the people why I asked you to come on.
Right on.
So I remember we were grooving. We were on a party bus. We were in Columbus, Ohio. For a couple of days, we jumped out the bus on the power groups. We told them about ourselves, Bloods, Crips, Kings, whoever was there. Then we led them to a place where there were a bunch of police there waiting too. So we could talk our message as credible messengers about abusive policing.
Yeah.
And what honored me was you were in there. A lot of people say, oh, you went in there because if you don't go in the middle of the fight, right? And you don't talk to the person you got the beef with, he ain't never gonna know.
Real talk. So
my brother, Fred Hampton Jr., I would like to start from you. He's from Chicago. He's still where his father was taken from us, stolen from us from police brutality. His father fought to unite all races, all of us united in Chicago and wherever we stood as Black Panthers, who helped the Young Lords be created, and all type of power groups stepped up when his father blew the trumpet. So go ahead, my brother. Tell him a little bit about your dad and how he was taken from us, and then bring us in today and how you see Chicago and how we could help unite the Black and the brown to make this happen.
Right on. First and foremost, right on. It's good to be online with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just went down memory lane a bit, you know what I'm saying, talking about that, the mobilization we did hitting the ground in Ohio. Shout out to Sean, Melvin, the whole crew, you know what I'm saying? Again, for those who are not familiar who I am, from where I come from, I'm Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. I'm honored to chair the Black Panther Party Cubs. A lot of times people hear that word Cubs, they think, well, are they youngsters? No, it's the ideological offspring of the Black Panther Party. I'm the son, the biological son, as well as the political son of Chairman Fred Hampton and also of Akua and Jerry, formerly known as Deborah Johnson. Chairman Fred Hampton had led the largest chapter of the Black Panther Party. Black Panther Party was started in Oakland, California, October 16, 1966. It grew to have chapters throughout the world. It was a revolutionary organization, and it was responsible, for many survival programs, such as the first free breakfast program, free busing programs to prisons, free clothing programs, not programs for charity, but programs to get people involved in, in fight for their own self-determination. You mentioned earlier, about the Young Lords, and that's something that, and this history is important to note, because the deal is the system, the same system that was responsible for the military assault on such organizations, the Black Panther Party, they continue to attempt to wipe out their legacy. And it was actually Chairman Fred Hampton. Contrary to a lot of people have been misinformed to believe there was people like Reverend Jesse Jackson, was Chairman Fred Hampton that organized the Rainbow Coalition.
Wait. Say that one more time, because I want credit to come to the people who deserve it. Who started the Rainbow Coalition?
Fred Hampton started the Rainbow Coalition and done it at a time when it was a profound, extremely revolutionary act. You talking about Chicago, which was, in many senses of the word, remains to be one of the top segregated cities in the country. He was Chairman Fred was armed with a politic to be able to deal with the race and the class contradiction. Again, a race and a class contradiction. One, a group of poor whites who identified themselves as Young Patriots out of the Appalachian Mountains. One, in certain points of political unity. One, the Young Lords on leadership of Cha-Cha Mendez at certain points of political unity. And many other of what we refer to as the unpoliticized street tribes. A lot of cats call them the gangs, but our thing is the unpoliticized street tribes. And Fred had won to form the devil disciples to a point of unity. They got up publicly and said, we now renounce ourselves to be known as the Black disciples due to political education we received from Chairman Freddie Black Panther Party, won the vice towards working at the Free Medical Center. And even at the government's own record, own accounts, they said that when the Black Panther Party was in existence, there was a record low to the so-called black-on-black crime. And a logical response, you think, well, damn, won't they acknowledge the work these cats doing? But the deal is, it's big business of, you know what I'm saying, of, black and, you know what I'm saying, the brown, every other colonized community going to the penitentiaries in the graveyard. And so they were attacked with the infamous COINTEL program. And that's something everybody should be hip to.
Wait, say it again. What is it called?
COINTELPRO.
So could I say, son, so there could be people in the rallies dressed as kings, as Bloods, as Black Panthers, throwing bricks?
All these different dynamics, Agent provocateurs. And a lot of times we hear this, the more the community has been told to believe, automatically think that you hear about counterinsurgency, COINTELPRO, this James Bond, Russia 007 type thing. But the deal is this type of activities, right here in the U.S. This, in fact, you said belly of the beast. This where these different dynamics, you know, happen at. And really, the reality is all police don't wear uniforms. You know what I'm saying? And if anyone that believes that the system, the police, they want to stop gang violence, you believe Don King want to stop boxing. You know what I'm saying? It's designed that way. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at situations in any revolutionary uprising, whether it be the Philippines, Africa, China, Vietnamese, Latin America, it's never no dynamic of just the state, the system itself coming in and overthrowing it. The infiltration, agent provocateurs, different forms of chemical biological warfare. You look back in the 60s with the mafioso. Luciano wasn't lucky. He was on the government's payroll. You know what I'm saying?
So wait, so then I want to teach something.
Yeah.
Because you're important. It isn't the enemy that infiltrates us, it's our own. Under the misunderstanding and guidance that what they're doing is it's good, right?
I wouldn't even go there. I wouldn't even give them that much credit because a lot of times they have the system has a psychological profile on all of us. In many cases, whether it be nefarious or naivety. In other words, whether a person knows what they're doing or just don't know. You know what I'm saying? They grab some individual. Some people are harmful and don't mean no harm. You know what I'm saying? And there are some people who don't care. And that's the, you know, like the system deals with many people like the way that we should deal with situations on a need to know basis. All the players, they don't know in Latin America when Ronald Reagan used them to go against the Sandinistas, the role that they're playing, you know what I'm saying, with counter-revolutionary, but it's different dynamics, you know what I'm saying? It was a case in Haiti. It was a case in Haiti one time. This dude was locked up in Miami, Florida, in jail. And they had brought him his file. The CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, showed him his file. And he didn't know how long he was working for the government. They said, do you recall that time when a woman approached you and she told you, you speak better than Aristide, President Aristide. Why are you not the spokesperson? And they tapped into his ego, opportunism, you know what I'm saying? And all the time he was working into the system, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times cats be in the street, they think they're just lucky, you know what I'm saying? They have a profile, and the deal is everything is political.
So once we get infected, what I'm hearing of personal gain, right? The movement can't be about personal gain. So like you said, so when me and you were in the party bus, or when I marched with the Mothers Against Police Brutality. Now let me not sound like I'm critical of when we gotta go and do a Boston Tea Party. I ain't mad when we gotta throw the fucking tea in the ocean. You get what I'm saying? They did it to get their freedom. Why can't I? Right? So I'm not. There's a time to burn and to fight. What I get sometimes that the young brothers don't understand, once you loot, once we go in and we're in territories that usually we're beefing with those people and we don't really understand the movement, I think, one, this is what I'm doing to educate those people in power groups. There's times we got to give safe passage and put certain shit aside. But then those that you're talking about, you can't take that opportunity to start destroying the very own Black and Latino owned businesses?
I think that's a good. I'm glad you brought the Boston Tea Party for an example. I think that should be put in. I mean, sometimes that calls for some research. I mean, this is the Boston Tea Party with American colonialists dressed up like the indigenous community. Woo! And to go against the English crown. And the deal is, so there was a foreign entity using the face of, you know, of individuals. So structure is important. Checks and balances, like who are these individuals? Whose interests do they work in? You know what I'm saying? And the Black Panther Party has had a saying. They say differences amongst the people are reconcilable. However, differences between the people in the state, in the system, are irreconcilable. So that sometimes has to be acknowledged. Like who's on whose payroll? You know what I'm saying? So once that is laid out, that cuts off a lot of fat from the meat. Then we can figure out we're gonna barbecue or we're gonna meal do. Who is who? The people. The deal is, we have to up the ante. We have to heighten our consciousness to say it's not just that simplistic. Like in Vietnam, at some point in Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh and Giap said, wait a minute, it's just not all Vietnamese people have the same interests. You know what I'm saying? It had to come out with the South Vietnamese and say, okay, they're going to roll with U.S. imperialism. They're on the payroll for U.S. imperialism. At some point in Korea, when Kim Il-sung in North Korea say, hey, man, hold on. This ain't no blanket approach, man. Who y'all? You know what I'm saying? We just at some point in the 1960s, you know what I'm saying? People say, man, you with the people of the state. And so the deal is, the racism is a top tool that has been used historically by this system. You know what I'm saying? And we had to call the question, like even with the indigenous community, there were different instances where they would grab. I don't look up to the Buffalo Soldiers. You know what I'm saying? Because the colonials had utilized them to go against the indigenous community. So you know, and vice versa, there have been situations where they grabbed with the British, the Spaniards have grabbed certain individuals from certain colonized communities and say, listen, you're gonna get this green, you're gonna get this pass, we're gonna encourage you, we're gonna fund you. You know what I'm saying? Even internally, Nicky Barnes in New York was not just no lucky dude, you know what I'm saying? He payroll for Rudolph Giuliano, you know what I'm saying? And this is something, so we have to call the question, be able to say, man, I want to do some house cleaning, and also recognize that, man, this whose interest do you work in at the end of the day? They had to do it in Rwanda, they do Puerto Rico, it's Haiti, Africa, and that's what we got to do right here in Chicago, which is infamously referred to as Chirac. You look at the locations. Look at the locations in Chicago or Chirac. And I have an issue with that word, Chirac. I really don't. Because reality is, we add on to the old saying, God created Africans and America made niggas, and the math and the machine manufactured Chirac. It's done by design. You would go look at the hot spots where they say it's going down with the brown and black and brown community. Look at the hot spots. You can directly look at the politics of these places. Let's go with Cicero, for example. The history of Cicero. You know what I'm saying? That's where Al Capone house was at. You know what I'm saying? Betty Maltese and even the present town president, Dominique. What's his relationship to the state? You know, excuse me. I mean, obviously he's town president. He definitely connects to the state. But the deal is, what type of reactionary history and lineage have they worked? You know what I'm saying? The black folks just started coming through Cicero a few years ago. It was known. Like, if your car stopped, leave your car over there. So these dynamics have been existing, but right now with the climate of coronavirus, it's capitalism on steroids. So you're seeing stuff that's been always been dormant. So it's our time right now. So I'm glad to be online with you. You know, so we put this on a national, international level discussion, because this dynamic is happening all over the world. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I've learned, and maybe I think, and this is, you know, we could, and then you could elaborate a little on this. What I remember most, right, when the Latin Kings in New York got involved with the Mothers Against Police Brutality, the first thing I mimicked was your dad, right? I think the United Families Coalition was the Nietas, the Zulu Nation, the Kings, you know, the community, the mothers. So first we got together. Then we learned where to disagree to agree, right? There were some things that I didn't agree with the Nation of Islam. So when that time came, I sent people to support in the unity that we with you for that right, but in this stance, we don't support you fully, because in my nation, we got a rule that doesn't do that. I'm just showing people, but it didn't keep us from moving together.
Real talk. Real talk. That's, you know, and the deal is, to us, that we have the space to have those discussions and differences, you know what I'm saying? And you know, like even when I owned the Black Panther Party Cubs, we pride ourselves on coalition building. And you know, I remember a situation one time with the Native community, and you know, one of the comrades was working with Conhoos and some others, and one of the other forces in this community say, "But man, I don't really understand y'all position in the Black community, Chairman, about reparations." So we had a discussion, but he respected our right for self-determination. You know what I'm saying? And in turn, some people may say, "Well, we disagree," but some Black people might say, "Well, what about the casinos?" You know what I'm saying? And they had that dialogue. That's cool to have that dialogue, but the problem comes in. The issue comes in is when the state control. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, that's the corruption.
That's the dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we can't. You can't. It's corrupt. It's like contradictions going to exist. They have always existed. You know what I'm saying? And if we don't acknowledge that, the deal is going to be like taking a coca leaf in Afghanistan, which in its raw form, it's people they chewing it all day. Once the system gets type of chemicals in it, you talking about something that's going to destroy our community. So once you have a dynamic, you know what I'm saying, that's creating organizations, that's impacting organizations, you know what I'm saying, they go because they have to. You can't say be an organization or entity and say you working for the good for the people if it's tied to the state that it hinges on you. Because to be a successful dope dealer, people gotta have habits. One coming expensive to another. To work for the system successfully, we have to go. We have to be fighting amongst each other. We have to go to the penitentiary graveyard. You know what I'm saying? So that has to be acknowledged.
So I'm gonna say this to the brothers once again, and I'm gonna say things that I hardly say. Why I was offended when they put my picture, these media whores on Facebook, and even they were saying, "Hey, these dudes are doing this and this." We can't. We could mimic our enemy, but we can't become him, because that's their master, right? They know how to be chameleons. But when we start seeing something that could destroy a movement and putting twigs in the fire, instead of calling OGs like Fred Hampton Jr., Tone, Melvin, Marvin, and the OGs that could talk and say, "Hey, this ain't looking good. We need to get the reality, the real reason why this is happening. Then we got to clear it." And I just don't want our people on these media stations, because when they posted me as the poster child as that, you could start a race riot or a gang war so quickly, just to get likes, just to get people incited. Then the eyes get off the white cop and the nation that got their knees not only on the gang's neck, not only on the blacks' neck, they on every neck. They got an opportunity that's gonna come between us getting back what's ours.
Real talk.
Period. You can't think about this in the middle. Listen, the people you call your forefathers in this country are forefathers of a stolen land. So I can't claim them as my forefather. I could respect their game that they took it. I can't understand that we've been sleeping so long.
This is, man, you know, hey, U.S. and this country in particular, man, it's so Machiavellian. You know what I'm saying? It's so, I mean, how it works the carrot and the stick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we even having concerns right now about these uprisings. You know, who they bringing in, who they bringing for the spokespersons. You know, and you would go in demanding something for you know it. The whole conversation be twisted. You know what I'm saying? You be like, well, wait a minute, what happened? What was the case about this blatant? That's why you have an opportunity with a blatant example. You know what I'm saying? I mean, with his white police, with his, I mean, literally, I mean, even the political significance in that. With his, I mean, minutes. You know what I'm saying? On his neck. And in so many cases, you know, so we've seen cases with the case of Rodney King. List goes on and on. You know, so throughout every community, throughout every barrio, you know, throughout every hood. So it's a conversation that a lot of times people try to duck and dodge, like, well, was they driving fast? Was they this? Were they doing this and that? You know what I'm saying? And when we get an opportunity, you know what I'm saying, we got to seize the time to flip it. Like I was talking to my nephew earlier. He said with the Ferguson situation, Mike Brown, he said a lot of people feel like they have to go to Ferguson. He said with this situation, he said, like, it's getting down right wherever you at. You know what I'm saying? Wherever you located at, you know what I'm saying? You relating to it. And another ingredient with this is this climate of coronavirus. You know what I'm saying? When cats are seeing death every day, this system is so Machiavellian, it knows how to work us. Like, soon we come to grips with struggle, it's okay, here come income tax returns, or here come this concession. We get caught, you know, chasing and believing. Here
The
go the Super Bowl.
perfect storm, right?
Perfect storm, you know what I'm saying? Real talk. Real talk. No, even with the sports events being out, that plays a role. Because see, Rome had an actual policy. Rome, when the soldiers was gone, Rome said, keep the games. He said, what you say that? He said, keep them entertained. So all this, man, all the different sports events.
Also, so I don't mean to cut you off because you said that. So Rome mastered feeding blood to the poor to forget their pain.
Real talk. And you real mastered it. And in addition, you got all these cats down there fighting. You be like, what? Why are these cats fighting each other as opposed to go up there and grab Caesar up that motherfucking throne and get out? You know what I'm saying? And so the different dynamics of manipulating the different, you know what I'm saying, against each other. And even the way it was built, it's done in a way that you look it up and see, you know what I'm saying? You can't, you know what I'm saying? But right now, we're in a terrible, but fine time. Man, this whole thing with Trump, the arrogance of him, the emperor has no clothes on.
And you know why I laugh? And, you know, we're going to close. I got another guest after you, and we'll be together Saturday, I believe, right? But
So,
Mr. Fred Hampton Jr., you know, and I was with your brother. What was the young brother that you brought to Columbus with you?
The Deputy Field Marshal Gio.
Yeah, man. I love that young brother. But to all the brothers, kings and queens, I want to make something clear to the public. Before New York understood, because of its internal powers as the almighty Latin King and Queen nation, New York State, from the birth of the almighty Latin King Queen nation in Chicago, there is no color code.
Yeah.
There are black Latin kings, Jewish Latin king, Christian Latin king. There's Latin kings all over. Over there, it ain't about your color. It's where you born and where you live and who you raised with. Some of them brothers never crossed them lines until this happened, where they could walk freely and cross neighborhoods they probably never went in their whole young life because of the war that exists. When y'all forget, when y'all get your justice, you forget how to fight for us, to learn not to kill each other, and to teach us not to leave when this is over. We got to stay in Chicago. We got to open them safe passages. We got to go to Little Village. We got to really know them so they can know us. That avenue got immigrants' little stores. If you burn them, they're not Nike. They're not the big conglomerates. They can reopen, just like Hampton knows. In his neighborhood, the black-owned stores can't take a hit. So what we gonna do? You see me and this man. I broke bread with him. He slept where I slept. We ate where he ate. If he hurt, I hurt.
Right.
I remember before I ever met you, man, and I used to march with the Black Panthers for the Mothers Against Brutality. And I used to hear the stories of your dad. And people used to say, yo, you know, you got this shout. This is happening. But you know me, my eyes was trying to say, man, this is what made them blow up Philadelphia's block for the movement. This is what made them, Lolita LeBron, Oscar, made them have to go and shoot that damn White House up so they listen to get their freaking knee off of Puerto Rico's neck. There's a lot of us with this government's knee on our necks. He's not my enemy right there. I would never throw a brick at this man. I would never curse him. We might have differences. History might let us into some disagreements, but today we got to learn to agree to disagree so our youngsters could see a black and brown man, a Latin king and a Black Panther, a Latin king and a Crip, grow up and understand the bigger picture is when you don't let one CO police 150 of America's worst gangsters. They kill us in the street and one chewing tobacco, sitting in a chair in a penitentiary of 150 of us that killed each other, blew each other up. one of them there sits spitting in the bottle, telling us when to turn on the TV, when to turn it off. In the street, they tell us the dog could stay in the park to 12 o'clock at night, but not my 13-year-old. This is why his father was taken from us. This is why the movement was taken from us. This is why the Young Lords was taken from us. This is why the Native American movement is never heard. The white man masters, and I'm not prejudiced, but I'm saying the government with all colors, because now the government ain't only white. Let's be honest. Right, mister? Am I wrong?
They got this again. This is a Machiavellian system. They got whatever. It's like Neapolitan, whatever flavor you like, whatever face you want to put on it. Hey, they work that number with neo-colonialism, man. They'll put a articulated face from the black community one day, a brown face on it for the next day. And history shows, but at the end of the day, it's still working in the interest of imperialism.
Could you tell the brothers in Chicago goodbye? Tell them, please, of how we could come together. And Little Village, we love you. We here, protect and let us through. You seen, yo, when the Stones went and seen them, that video, and they were hugging and talking, that shit blew my heart up.
Man, listen, man. Hey, to Chicago, to LA, to DC, because it's going out all over, man. Hey, man, we're gonna make history. We're gonna take history and tape history. These are tough times. It's gonna be tougher people. It's heightened the contradiction. This is a discussion that has been happening. We got a lot more ears listening now. But again, let's up the ante, you know what I'm saying, and draw the lines of demarcation. Who you with, the state or the people? Man, hey, King Tone, love, respect, man. Right back at you Saturday. We on, man. Let's make history.
Toe to toe, brother. Toe to toe. I love you, bro.
Man, love you, man. Right on.
You already know.